Yeah, the Cheyenne Day of Giving has really blossomed into, a day of service, a youth day. It's really changed a lot. Greta Morrow was, kind of the founder and the vision of that. And last year she talked about the youth day, and I thought, well, it sure would make sense for our youth council maybe to become a little bit more involved in that. So I asked them if they would consider that, and they did. And we were there yesterday, and they were loading boxes. And oh my gosh, I could not believe the tonnage of food and stuff that was coming through. I mean, cars would pull up and the kids would unload them, bring them in. They'd be separated out. And, 15 minutes later, they would be put into boxes, labeled, and ready to go to the nonprofits. So it was really fun to watch. I was really proud of the kids. They did a great job, hard workers. And just Miss Morrow and what she's accomplished, it's a game changer. Yeah, last year was my first tacos and tequila, and I was invited back this year, and I brought Councilman Seagrave and his wife Ann with us. And for me, it was a cool thing. It was a huge event. I could not believe how many people showed up to support the Comea shelter in their homelessness efforts. We talked a little bit about the buying of the Stagecoach Motel and how that's going to become a harm reduction center for the homeless, which is a really, really cool project. I think that was a partnership between the city and the county to buy that building and to give it to Comea. But for me, the highlight was we had a gentleman at our table named Patrick. And Patrick is actively homeless today, living on the street. Robin, who's the executive director of Comea, found him, asked him if he would come and have dinner with us and maybe share his story. He was a Navy veteran who got hurt. I think maybe the pain of that hurt and injury caused him to become addicted to drugs. And he is trying really hard to get away from that lifestyle. And the Harm Reduction Center is something he's looking forward to, a place that he can stay and be safe. He needs a hip replacement from the injury he got in the Navy, but he has no place to go where he can convalesce and do that. And so this place will give him that. So I'm really excited about Patrick and his future and the future of the Comea shelter. They're doing great work for Cheyenne. Yeah, I used an illustration of our fire department. We have 91 firemen in our fire department, great assets for the city. And I used the illustration that it would take almost $1.5 billion in retail sales to pay for our fire department. Unfortunately, some of the firemen thought I was taking a shot at them because maybe they're overpaid or something. And that was the last thing I was trying to do. I was trying to illustrate the fact that it takes an amazing amount of sales. For every $1,000 of sales that are made, taxable sales, the city gets $7.71 that goes into our general fund. So you would think they would be much, much higher than that, but it's $7.71. And I was also using the illustration of a $400,000 home. We only get $304 a year on an average home. It's only 11% of the tax actually comes to the general fund of the city. And so it takes a lot of transactions, a lot of homes in order to move the needle. And my illustration was we don't have enough homes to pay even the fire department. It takes 37,900 homes just to pay the salaries of our 91 firefighters, not taking a shot at them, but just to illustrate the idea that, we really struggle in the state of Wyoming for paying and affording the revenues we need to run cities and towns. Yeah, the city's grown significantly in the past 5 years, but we're still below our pre-pandemic salaries, our employee levels are still below that number. So we have more folks doing more or less folks doing more. And so that's a challenge for us to be able to continue to do that long term, especially as we continue to grow. And so we're getting some more revenues are starting to come back. We're starting to be able to invest those into more positions. But with inflation, oh my gosh, it's taking our ability to add employees and the staff that we need away. It's amazing what the cost of, and I don't have to tell anybody this, the cost of a gallon of gasoline or the parts for our vehicles or the tires to put on those vehicles have gone up astronomically. And so while we're having some reoccurrences of revenues increasing, it is challenging us. Yeah, the city of our Laramie County is the #3 county in the state of Wyoming for overnight stays. I think we had 1.2 million overnight stays last year. Park County, Cody area, the western entrance of or eastern entrance of Yellowstone was about 1% ahead of us. So we're going to catch them again. We're ahead of them in the past, and we're going to catch them again. So that tourism stuff is really a big deal for us to create some more destination oriented tourism events. We'll bring folks to Cheyenne. They'll spend their nights in our hotels. They'll leave their tax dollars and then they'll go home. And so it's not as hard on our infrastructure. So we're really working hard to try to create those tourism destination tourism places. The state of Wyoming is a partner in that, and definitely visit Cheyenne. And working all together, I think we're going to be able to move that needle. I don't know if we have any good news in the Hynds Building yet, but I think the good news is that we've been working really hard to find folks who might be interested in that building. And one of the ones that I found and have been working with, I met with them this last week, and they shared with me that they are excited about a project they're working on. They think they figured out the magic sauce, I guess, to make it work. And my hopes will be they'll make an offer in the building that will be large enough to be accepted, and we can see the redevelopment of the Hynds Building someday in the future. But if that one doesn't work out, we're working with other folks, and we'll continue to work hard until we can find a partner to be able to do that. It's important to me to take that really important corner and see it come back to life. Well, Lincoln Way, we had that really dilapidated pizza building for the last decade. I think it was really drawing down that whole area. The Culvers company came in and they bought that whole corner. They have torn it completely down, got rid of all the asbestos and things like that. And now they've opened the Culvers restaurant. And I guess a human being is imminent to open a drive-through coffee shop. And so it's beautiful to see the revitalization of that corner. And then it was really fun because Craig Culver himself came and visited this week. They have over 800 stores now in 28 states. And he was here to celebrate with the crew and the franchisee and kind of share the mission and the message. It was fun to meet a guy like that. And I just really appreciate their investment in our community. Yeah, those large booths that you see in front of the city building here, in front of the depot, all over this community. When I first saw them, I was like, kind of furrowed my brow, like what's going on there? But it really captures, kind of the essence of what people expect when they come to Cheyenne, which is that Western way of life, right? And when my office was in the depot while the building was closed, I can't tell you how many people from all over the world were taking pictures by those booths, and I would stop and help them with group pictures. And so I think that investment in the arts is fantastic. And recently, this week, the hospital jumped on it. They did a new boot, and that boot kind of celebrates the 160-year history of the hospital from when they were in a tent to today, and also the people who have for the last 160 years provided healthcare, all the different nursing and all the different specialties that are there. It's a big deal, and it was really nice to see them make that investment in the arts.